The Kansas City Chiefs organization is facing an unexpected upheaval. A major figure within the franchise has been dismissed, sending immediate shockwaves throughout the team and fanbase. The decision, abrupt and unprecedented in its timing, reflects deeper strategic and operational tensions that had been quietly brewing. Leadership changes of this magnitude are rarely isolated. They often signify a shift in organizational philosophy, priorities, or accountability measures. For players, staff, and supporters alike, the announcement raises pressing questions about the future direction of the franchise. Every franchise decision in professional sports reverberates beyond immediate personnel changes, affecting team morale, performance, expectations, and public perception. The dismissal of a high-profile figure inevitably invites analysis, speculation, and scrutiny at every level of the organization. The individual now removed from their position had been a defining presence within the Chiefs' hierarchy. Known for a combination of strategic insight, public visibility, and influence over team operations, their contributions shaped both the on-field and off-field identity of the franchise. Over the years, decisions under their tenure affected roster composition, coaching approaches, and even draft strategies. While successes were evident, challenges emerged that strained internal confidence and external perception. Conflicts over resource allocation, leadership style, or team culture may have contributed to mounting friction behind the scenes. Understanding the background of this figure offers crucial context to the dismissal, revealing how professional sports organizations balance performance, reputation, and long-term vision against individual decision-making. Their departure marks the end of a significant chapter in Chiefs history. Inside the locker room, the firing has generated mixed responses among players and staff. Some view the decision as a necessary step to realign the organization with evolving goals. Others experience uncertainty, as trust, routines, and expectations were closely tied to the removed figure. Leadership transitions in professional sports inherently create tension, as athletes and coaches adjust to new dynamics, communication protocols, and potential strategic shifts. The change prompts reassessment of team roles, responsibilities, and morale management. Key players must recalibrate their interactions and influence to maintain cohesion during a period of uncertainty. Staff members face similar challenges, needing to navigate shifting directives while sustaining operational continuity. How the Chiefs manage internal sentiment during this critical transition will shape early perceptions of the organizational shift. The firing directly influences the Chiefs' approach to coaching and strategic planning. Leadership changes at the top often cascade down to staff responsibilities, game preparation, and broader tactical philosophies. Offensive and defensive coordinators may face pressure to adapt schemes, evaluate personnel differently, and incorporate new priorities aligned with organizational objectives. Mid-season adjustments require clear communication, as any misalignment can affect performance, player confidence, and competitive results. Strategic consistency is essential in professional football, but abrupt changes demand agility and resilience. Analysts and insiders will closely monitor practice sessions, meetings, and game plans to identify shifts in emphasis or leadership influence. How quickly and effectively the team adapts to altered guidance will be a critical factor in maintaining competitive balance and preserving the franchise's reputation among Chiefs supporters. The news has ignited widespread debate and emotional response. Fans, deeply invested in team performance and identity, express a mixture of shock, curiosity, and concern. Social media platforms and fan forums highlight divergent perspectives. Some applaud decisive action aimed at long-term improvement, while others mourn the departure of a familiar and respected figure. Public perception of the franchise can be heavily influenced by communication surrounding leadership changes. Transparency, rationale, and messaging from the Chiefs organization play a central role in shaping how the dismissal is interpreted externally. Media coverage amplifies the situation, framing narratives that can affect brand image, sponsorship relations, and league-wide reputation. Managing fan expectations is as critical as internal adaptation during periods of high-profile organizational change. Within the history of the NFL, firings of prominent figures often carry lasting consequences. Comparing the Chiefs' situation to similar organizational changes in other franchises highlights patterns in timing, reasoning, and outcome. Leadership transitions typically occur following performance challenges, philosophical disagreements, or public controversies. Past examples demonstrate that immediate turbulence can precede periods of growth, recalibration, or further disruption. Evaluating historical outcomes provides perspective on potential trajectories for the Chiefs, illustrating the balance between risk and opportunity inherent in personnel decisions. Organizational memory and precedent shape both internal expectations and external analysis. Understanding how other teams navigated comparable scenarios underscores the stakes involved and informs projections about stability, adaptation, and long-term implications for the franchise's competitive and cultural future. Attention now shifts to potential successors and the future direction of the Chiefs organization. Identifying the right replacement requires consideration of strategic vision, leadership capability, and alignment with team culture. Interim or permanent appointments will impact morale, operational focus, and public confidence. Decisions about succession often involve weighing internal familiarity against external expertise, balancing continuity with innovation. The selection process communicates the organization's priorities to players, staff, and stakeholders. Analysts and insiders speculate on candidates, evaluating track records, leadership style, and compatibility with existing personnel. The chosen replacement will carry responsibility for guiding the franchise through immediate challenges and shaping long-term development. Organizational clarity and decisiveness during this period are critical to minimize disruption and establish confidence among all constituencies. Connected to the Chiefs, leadership changes inherently influence player performance, both psychologically and operationally. Athletes thrive on stability, routine, and clear guidance. Abrupt shifts may disrupt focus, confidence, or motivation. Adjustments in coaching philosophy, game planning, or communication dynamics can affect execution during practice and competition. High-profile players may assume increased responsibility for team cohesion, mentoring colleagues, and reinforcing standards. Performance outcomes in the weeks following the dismissal will serve as indicators of the organization's ability to manage change effectively. Resilient teams leverage transitions as opportunities to demonstrate adaptability and collective strength. Conversely, unresolved tension or uncertainty can result in inconsistent performance and diminished results. Observers will closely track statistical trends, leadership emergence, and behavioral shifts as measures of the team's response to organizational upheaval. The firing has attracted attention beyond Kansas City, prompting analysis from media, league officials, and rival franchises. The NFL community evaluates the implications for competitive balance, organizational precedent, and leadership trends. Coverage ranges from in-depth reporting on internal dynamics to speculative commentary on future moves. Media framing influences fan sentiment, sponsor confidence, and national perception of the franchise. Rival teams may interpret the change as an opportunity or threat, considering how the Chiefs' adjustment could affect scheduling, matchups, and rivalry dynamics. Public discourse extends to leadership accountability, strategic vision, and organizational culture. The broader context situates the Chiefs' decision within the landscape of professional football management, emphasizing that high-profile dismissals resonate far beyond immediate personnel adjustments. The firing represents a pivotal moment for the Kansas City Chiefs. While immediate disruption is inevitable, the decision also opens opportunities for strategic realignment, cultural recalibration, and organizational renewal. Leadership transitions challenge teams to balance short-term stability with long-term vision, ensuring that morale, performance, and public perception remain managed. The impact on players, staff, and stakeholders will unfold over time, revealing the effectiveness of communication, adaptation, and leadership structures. Observers will measure success by both operational continuity and the ability to leverage the change toward competitive advantage. Ultimately, the Chiefs' response to this moment will define the trajectory of the franchise, shaping both its identity and performance for seasons to come.